a question we must answer. It's the perfect time to be transformed. I'm Mike Morrison with 2 minutes of insight and inspiration. Welcome to 2 Minute Transformation. It's been a long and unproductive night for Peter and the disciples. They had been out on the sea the entire night with nothing to show for their effort. The dawn is breaking and a stranger is on the beach nearby, kindling a fire and roasting fish. John tells us in chapter 21, verse 4 of his gospel, that the stranger is none other than Jesus, but goes on to say that the disciples did not know it was him. If you're watching for the first time today, I want to invite you to check out the webcasts from Monday and Tuesday for more on this week's subject, fruitfulness, and what's occurred with the disciples up to this point. So John chapter 21, verse 5, John records, "Then Jesus said to them, 'Children, have you any food?' They answered him, 'No.' Then in verse 6, John says, 'And he said to them, Cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some.' So they cast, and now they were not able to draw it in because of the multitude of fish." Did you catch the question Jesus asked? He asked if they'd caught any fish. The gist of the question was, are you being fruitful? Earlier in John's Gospel, chapter 15, verse 8, from the Living Bible, Jesus said, "My true disciples produce a bountiful harvest. This brings glory to my Father." So in essence, Jesus is asking the big question here, and I believe it's a question you and I are going to have to answer one of these days when we see Jesus face to face. He's telling us there is an expectation that the seed of the new birth which has been planted in us should produce fruit. There's a measure of success that he anticipates. When the disciples answered his question no, Jesus suggested a new course of action. Why? Because he desires that we be fruitful. It amazes me how close some people, some churches, some businesses, some organizations can be to success and still come up short. If we just tune into the Savior, we may discover that he not only has what we need, but knows where to fish for success and where we'll be transformed.